Smashbox Labs.
Konnichiwa!
And good morning.
Uh, it's 11 at night.
Au revoir.
That's... Oh, I don't know what that means.
Allah, Allah, Jihad, Allah.
Welcome to Smashbox Live.
Yeah, we've got some hard-hitting questions for you guys today.
I'm actually going to call any of these hard-hitting.
I call a couple of them hard-hitting.
Well, I mean, we might have a little bit of a debate here.
Yeah, okay.
So actually, that one's the one I anticipate taking the longest.
Okay.
So I think we should dive right into it. Ideal buffet setup. Okay?
Dessert up front, everything else in the back. You want them to get the dessert on the way out.
I still don't know about that.
I think that when you put it up front, it makes them see, oh, fuck, I want to save room for dessert.
I
So you don't deplete the rest.
I guess. For me, like, pizza is a big thing. Like,
Love CC's.
ideally, there's like a pizza section.
Yeah.
So, like, I just want one section of like pizza.
A pizza bar.
Right. Yeah, I guess you can call it that. Yeah. Then I want like the Chinese section.
Oh, that'd be good.
Like a I don't know. I'm a lover of lo mein, not lo mein, chow mein.
Yeah.
Lo mein's the like fried one where they're actually like kind of crunchy, right?
I've never had lo mein.
Okay. Well, chow mein is my personal favorite dish.
Yeah.
Chicken chow mein specifically. I don't do shrimp. I don't really like shrimps, especially non-fried shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
So the almost boiled consistency of the shrimp in shrimp lo mein is
A turn off?
or shrimp chow mein is a major turnoff. A major like
A detractor.
yeah. I was super upset the last time we went to buffet night at the Chinese place.
Yeah, our favorite Chinese place.
The lo mein or the chow mein had shrimp in it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's kind of upsetting. And then there was some guy across the buffet, like on the other section of the buffet, like in front of something, just standing there with one of the carry-out boxes.
Yeah, what was going on with
I don't know, like I was behind him.
Yeah.
And I'm walking behind him. I'm sitting there looking at the dessert area.
that? Yeah.
Okay, this guy's just sitting there looking at stuff. And then he goes past, and he stops at the chow mein, and then he keeps going. So I stop at the chow mein. I'm starting to get chow mein. This guy goes straight around to the other side, and it's just standing there. He opens up the carry-out container.
Is it empty?
It's empty.
What an asshole!
And then he's just sitting there, and he's and he's just shaking his head.
Like
He's
you're
just
the
like
one.
clicking his tongue. I was like, dude, you passed it. You had your chance.
Like, dude,
Like
don't
I
fuck
waited my turn, and then you're gonna sit here and click your tongue. My plan.
with- He's got a takeout box anyway.
Right. Well, my plan was to just take the chow mein that was there and leave the shrimp, just to be like, hey, I don't like it. Don't bring more of that.
Yeah.
But this guy is sitting there clicking his tongue. I'm just like, I guess I'm only getting a little bit of chow mein, because this guy is very
fucking
impatient.
ass.
Yeah, he's some mustachioed fuck.
Yeah.
He's just gonna sit there and click his tongue at me.
This Mario-faced piece of shit.
I mean, he was an older gentleman.
Dude, I think that I have a problem with confusing older people for Mario.
Why?
Well, it's like, have you ever looked at like an old man?
Yeah.
Right. Now imagine, if you will, that old man's face slowly morphing into Mario.
Like
That's-
what version of Mario?
Like Dr. Mario.
Okay. You going right for my problems again.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
It's like that's what happens to me. It's like a slow face morph.
I don't have a problem. I could stop playing Dr. Mario anytime I want to.
You're playing it now.
I'm actually not. I actually haven't played Dr. Mario since the last podcast.
He says.
So who has a problem now? Because
I have played Enter the Gungeon.
yeah,
since the last podcast.
we've recorded Enter the Gungeon since the last
I
podcast.
petitioned very hard for
He,
Enter the Gungeon.
He was like, not so much like ransoming me, like holding me hostage and saying we have to play Enter the Gungeon, but he shot down everything that wasn't under the country. That
It was
day.
like, it's like when your girlfriend's like, oh man, let's go get some food somewhere. I don't know where I want to eat. And you're like, you don't
want to
know?
go here?
Yeah,
No.
no.
Do you want to go here? No. You want to go here? No. You want to go to your favorite place? Oh my god, I love my favorite place.
Oh my god.
It's like you can read my mind.
Yeah, I fucking... That's some shit. Like, mind games like that have always fucked me up as a human being. Because I'm very oblivious.
I
by
think I
nature.
would legitimately have to put the girl in a chokehold. Like, and I'm not that guy, except for, like, moments like that would turn me into that guy. It's like, at that point, you sort of, like, understand sometimes domestic abuse just happens.
Dude, look, sometimes a bitch falls down the stairs,
Well, I mean,
walks into a doorknob.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, like, Bill Burr had the one joke where, like, he wanted to hear Chris Brown's side of the story whenever he beat up her. Like, were they just in his car and she said something and he just, like, started beating her ass out of nowhere? Or was there, like, some build-up? No, they never say the build-up, and then he, tells the story about his wife beating him up, or his girlfriend. I don't know if that girlfriend turned into his wife. I don't know the situation. What I'm saying is that's true. You never really hear what the woman did before. It was just, the fact is, it ended in him beating her ass.
I do
I'm
want
not condoning domestic
Yeah, I
violence.
was about to say,
I'm
I do
definitely
wanna-
not condoning domestic violence. I'm just saying that in the moment, I'd probably think about it.
I mean,
Well,
it's-
I'm not talking about, like, throwing punches. I'm talking, like, putting her in a chokehold, putting her to sleep, and, going to a restaurant, and then was like, oh, hey, we're inside.
there has only been one time in my life I've ever wanted to hit a woman.
Was it Lardo, the one that broke my bed?
Okay, there have been, like, if you count her, there are like 50 times. I
I
don't
say
count her
every
as a
time
woman.
that bitch comes in this house,
She fucked something up.
well, that and I want to hit her because she just does something ignorant.
Dude, this woman will not shut the fuck up. She's constantly fucking rude.
Okay.
And she blames other people for all of her fucking
Well,
problems.
okay, so last week they were camping out, waiting for the mail was their cover story, because they don't have a permanent address because they're drug addicts.
Of course.
So they can't change their address from this address because this was their last quote-unquote permanent address. Where did they get mail to before?
That's my fucking question.
That's honestly, it's concerning.
They were living with Matt's sister. I don't know why they didn't just get the mail forwarded there.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
So they camp out waiting for the mail. They say, but what really happens is when Matt's grandma comes by, they ambush her asking her for money.
Of course.
And being the nice lady that she is, she's like, I have like $4.
Do you want 4
And
cents?
then they were like, well, we ain't eating in 3 days. And I'm just looking at this bitch like, really?
Really, your fat ass hasn't eaten in 3 days. Maybe your skinny boyfriend hasn't eaten in 3 days, but I bet you sure as fuck have.
Yeah.
I bet you had a Big Mac on your way
That-
here, you big dumb
That's
bitch.
that's the part where I'm just like, you got poop, don't you?
Honestly, what fucks me up about them the most is that they're so unapologetically pieces of shit. You know?
Yeah. Well, I
Like-
mean, like I said, she just showed up here. They're sitting out here smoking.
Yeah, they told Matt's grandma, we don't have any cigarettes.
Yeah, I ran out of cigarettes like 2 days
I
ago.
need money for
I
cigarettes.
need money for cigarettes. And I was like, I was watching her smoke.
Yeah, like, were you just smoking your last one outside?
Yeah.
Like, what's your fucking game
You
here?
ran out 2 days ago, but you had one more and you smoked it outside.
Mhm.
And then also, like, every time she came in the house while they were fixing the water line, she was smoking. And that was like 3 days beforehand.
You know what pissed me off the most about them?
What's that?
Every time that bitch comes into our house, she takes a drink.
And just talks as loud as possible. Like, it doesn't matter how much I, like, assert, hey, people are in here sleeping. Keep your fucking voice down.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong.
She's like, all right, baby, I understand.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm a loud motherfucker. But if you tell me to be quiet, I'll at least pipe down for a bit.
Be quiet.
I will. I'll pipe down for a bit.
Okay, you can talk normal again.
Yeah, but she just fucking doesn't know how to use her inside voice.
No, like, she came knocking on the door. Actually, this was last Friday. You know, whenever the whole, hey, we're gonna stake out and wait for Matt's grandma to get here to ask
Yeah.
for money. She
money
knocks on
angle.
the door like 3 hours before that, and is like, hey, did the mail come? And I'm like, no, we don't check the mail. I mean, unless we're waiting for something. And keep your voice down. Duke's asleep. Pretty sure Matt's trying to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, and this is louder than the question she just asked. All right, baby, I'm sorry.
Yeah. You want to know what she would do to me?
What's that?
I'd quietly poke my head out and go, "Hey, Matt's asleep. Can you, keep your voice down a bit?" And she'd go, "And sorry, Gaza, this is going to be a sound warning. Sound warning to fans.
You don't have to yell.
I'm gonna." "Oh, I'm sorry, baby. Don't worry. I'll be quiet. Just don't worry about me, baby. You know me, I'm deaf."
I hope that the mic picked up Matt yelling, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, me too.
See, that's why I told you not to yell.
I mean, that's why I wanted to yell. Because Matt would do that all the time. He'd be like, "Shut the fuck up." It's like, they never got the message. And then they would constantly bitch that, like, we were, what's the word for this here? Mistreating them.
They're drug addicts.
Yeah,
and squatters. They
would say that we were constantly mistreating them and making a mess and breaking their shit and all kinds of stuff. And that this was their trailer. They paid the bills. I don't know if you know this guy.
No, not even remotely.
Yeah, they would pay $200 a month and then get what was it, about $250 of it back. Meanwhile, I would pay $200 a month, and that's it. That was I would just pay
so
money.
Fucked, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah. It was one of those situations where it was so unabashedly self-serving of them to even exist. Like, there are not many people I hate. There are people who will jokingly say shit like, "Oh, I hate this person, I hate this concept."
Yeah.
But, most of the time I'm being hyperbolic. That's me as a person. But with these people, it was impossible not to hate them. Like, to physically hate them in the most hateful way possible.
I feel like most of the time you don't really know that you're capable of stuff like that until somebody breaks you.
Yeah.
I have always been a super patient person, especially with people.
Yeah.
I, however, was working with this girl at my last job, the gas station, and she started the same day as me, and it was just absolutely stunning how stupid this person was. And she treated every day like it was her first.
Oh,
and it was crazy. I understand. I was working full time whenever she started out part time, so yeah, I should catch on things. But after you've been on full time for a whole month, and you're still asking me questions about stuff that I don't even have to do because I don't work midnights and you do work midnight. Okay, they put this girl on midnights because she was stupid and couldn't do anything. So for her to then ask me questions about the midnight shift, a shift I had never worked before, it's a little bit appalling.
Yeah, like, for me, it takes about, like, a week for me to get acclimated to everything if it's a numbers job. Like, when I worked at Walmart, that was how long it took me to get used to, like, the timers for the fryers, because I'm bad at numbers. I'm very bad at numbers. And it was one of the things where I took the job knowing that was my weakness. I explained it very thoroughly in the interview. They knew, like, yeah, okay, it's going to take them a bit to adjust, whatever. But there are certain people who they go into an interview and they're like, "Oh, my biggest weakness is I'm too perfect. I'm too hardworking." It's like, no, sometimes if I'm an interview and it's like I'm interviewing for a job where, like, I know I'm gonna have a big weakness. Yeah, I might not get the job, but I'm also not gonna I'm not gonna have a firing on my resume because I fucking lied to these people.
My thing is, like, most of the time I tell them I allow myself to be walked on, not just by authority, but mostly by other people, and it's because I don't like confrontation.
Yeah,
I'm a non-confrontational person until you push me to a point to where I'm forced to confront you about something. Now, that has happened very rarely in my employment history, but it has happened, and probably not as scarcely as I would have liked. Well, definitely not as scarcely as I would have liked, because ideally, that's not something I would have to do.
Yeah.
But this girl was one of those points where I was just like, you are ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You're coming to me asking me questions about stuff on your shift, stuff that you've been doing for a month and a half, and it's like, at the point where she asked this question, I'm just like, do you literally just not know how to do your fucking job?
Yeah, like, are you
have you been
fucking...
have you just been winging it for a month and a half? No wonder they fucking hate you.
Yeah, like, no wonder.
I didn't say that out loud, did I? But no, it was pretty bad. And it's like, she was on midnights, and it was like, well, we're thinking about getting rid of midnights. And it's like, we feel bad about losing the other guy that works midnights, but he works 2-3 days a week tops.
And this was when you worked at the gas station?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is in Ohio.
Yeah.
So, okay, you have your Ohio stupid bitch.
Right.
And you've got your fat stupid bitch from Alabama. Who wins in a fist fight? If you put them down against each other.
I think pound for pound, Lardo would win.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, what was...
Because the trout lipped bitch I worked with at the gas station was just like, I think that she would let herself be like on the verge of getting knocked out before she actually fought back.
Oh, wow. So she'd, like, whimper?
Yeah. Well, she would probably be, like, stunned from the first blow. And just be like, why do you hit me? I can't believe you actually hit me right now. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I feel like Lardo, if she got hit, she'd cry. Because, I don't know if you noticed, one time she slipped out here. I think you might have heard it on your mic. This is before you moved here. I'm pretty sure you heard it. All that comes out. No, I was in. I
have woken up a few times to earthquake aftershock. So
yeah,
I imagine it was something resembling that.
But I was in a game of League with these 3 guys. Right, I had met them in the game, and I was queuing up with them. It was a fun time. We're all in Discord, and all of a sudden they hear this fucking god awful screeching. And I go, fuck, hang on, I'll be right back. So I take my headset off. I forget to mute it.
You go and put her down.
Yeah, I walk out here, and she's, like, screaming that she needs help. And she slipped. That's it. She slipped on the floor. Ironically, she did drop some spaghetti sauce. At first I thought it was blood, but no, it was spaghetti sauce. And I go to offer her my hand to help her up, and she goes to reach for it, and I pull it back, and I walk back in the room. And she starts screaming at me more, and I'm in the room now. I close the door.
You just yell, "Fuck off!"
The guys are like, "What happened, dude? Are you okay? What happened, Pat?" And I was like, 'cause my Discord's Pat, and I'm like, "Yeah, my drug addict roommate fell." And they're like, "Your drug addict roommate? You mean the dude?" And I was like, "No, unfortunately, a different human being." Like, how many roommates do you have? And I was like, in terms of real people or soulless monsters? Like, you gotta specify here, man.
So there's Matt and then 2 soulless monsters at the time. Yeah. I'm so thankful that dealing with them is not something I was forced into.
Yeah. I'm real glad that happened too. To be honest with you, when you first came down here, it felt very touch and go to me.
What's that?
You coming down here and like the process that we would undergo, because like we had times in the past where we were like, okay, we need to kick them out, and then nothing came of it. So I was super worried about it.
Like they were gonna move back in.
Yeah, like something was gonna happen, and I was like, fuck no, I would not be able to deal with this. I was honestly at the point where if they came back, I was just gonna move to Ohio.
Damn.
I was like, I'm back.
I mean, I could have went back. My, my boss loved me. The gas station. I've gotten several messages asking if I was coming back by my assistant manager on Facebook, and I was like, no. I mean, I was still fighting with mom from a birth certificate at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, but no. I mean, I appreciate it because everybody I talk to, like, well above the employees, because obviously they don't have that kind of pool, but. 2 regional managers, my manager and the assistant manager, all told me the same thing. Hey, if it don't work out, we'll always take you back.
Mm-hmm.
I said, that full-time position that's open, we'll hire 2 part-time people, so it's not an issue firing them if you come back. I was like, well, that's probably the coolest thing anybody's ever done for me.
Yeah, it was really good of them.
I mean, but I'm just going to show you, if you put in a 2 weeks notice, and you actually work the 2 weeks notice, the company's not going to hate you for leaving.
That's the thing. A lot of people, when they're unhappy at a job or something, they'll
like, I got to get out of here as soon as fucking possible.
Yeah, so they'll let their performance dip. But that's the thing. Something that people don't realize is if you're willing to tough it out in a bad situation, people will respect that a lot more than...
It wasn't necessarily a bad situation.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. Like,
I was... in a situation where I had to move out of my parents' house because I didn't like the situation they were putting me in. I didn't like the sort of power they had over me to where it said, yeah, you pay rent because, you know, we'll throw you out if you don't. And then asking me to quit my job to drive my dad to and from work for at least 6 months, which would have quickly turned into a year, turned into however fucking long.
Slippery slope.
Yeah, and because and I know that's how it would happen. I don't need to go into the whole dynamic of my relationship with my parents to explain that that's exactly what would have happened.
We'll take it on faith.
Right. And, you know, sadly I had to leave one of the easier jobs I've ever had, which was just being a cashier and at a gas station. The hardest thing I had to do was stocking coolers, and that was honestly one of the funner parts of my job because it's super cool back there. Ain't got to talk to nobody. Just turn on music, stock the cooler, and normally that's like right before I leave. And, you know, other than that one girl that worked midnights, everybody knew what the fuck they were doing, it seemed.
Very competent place.
Yeah.
Now, I think that that's one thing that I've noticed. People in Alabama, they're not... If they have the end of a shift where they can't talk to another human being, that's a bad thing here. Whereas, culturally speaking, in Ohio, if you can go for a full day without talking to a stranger, you're fucking set. That's a good fucking day.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Like, you know how you mentioned, like, it's the cool part of your shift. You get to listen to music in the cool part of the gas station.
Yeah.
Don't gotta talk to people. You're free to do you.
Well, I mean, I didn't mind talking to people so much. It's just like, I don't have to interrupt my work because somebody comes into the store.
Yeah, but that's like a difference. Like, down here, people... there are people who are exceptions, I'm sure. But for the most part, people here love that kind of shit. They love when someone...
my thing is, like, I just want to get my job done. I want to make sure everything's done. Like, I plan things out, and obviously, I know, you get a hold of when the busy times are and when the busy times aren't. And generally speaking, after about 7, 8 o'clock up there, at the gas station, we got pretty slow. So it was a whole lot of finish this thing, go and chill out in the office for like 15 minutes until somebody comes in. Like, there were so many times where I would just order dinner and literally nobody would come in. The delivery driver would show up. I'd sit in the office, finish my dinner, and come out of the office, and there's still been nobody. It's like, between then, it's like, I had to start coffee. And then, I had to put the lid on the coffee so it didn't get cold.
That's something that I've been getting a lot more with my job lately.
You have to make coffee for people? Well,
no, I mean, I do that by default. We have a coffee maker, so I just make coffee when I get there in the morning.
All right.
But,
so you ever had to lie about something that you did at work because you knew you were going to get, like, yelled at? If you didn't... If you told the truth?
Yeah.
Like, a few times, not at the gas station, whenever I was working at the grocery store.
Yeah.
I lied about people, I vouched for people that I definitely shouldn't have vouched for, because I went to high school with a couple of guys that I worked with, so I vouched for them. And when it turned out that they didn't actually do it, then I looked like the jackass.
Yeah.
I swear I saw him doing it. I'm sorry. Just like, don't write me up for this. I didn't have nothing to do with it. You didn't tell me to do nothing.
Yeah. I think the thing with my stuff is there have been cases where an instructor will ask me about a student they feel is borderline.
I don't know that. Like, failing, pass, fail.
Yeah, they're
asking you for pass, fail.
Yeah, they're basically asking if, like, that student is a borderline student. They want to know if that student made the effort or if they just tried to show up to pass the class.
Yeah, I get you.
So there will be times where an instructor will ask me shit about that, and I still feel bad about this. There was one student they asked me about. I was 100% sure I knew who it was. They were a real piece of shit. Awful fucking human being. I said no. I said they should not get to pass They were just coming by.
Turns out it was the wrong person.
Yeah, wrong person.
Oh, Duke. Like,
turns out the person they were asking me about was a special ed student. So to be crass, to be coarse, I failed a retard because I was a retard.
God. Would you consider that the worst accidental lie you've ever told?
Yeah, I think.
What's the worst purposeful lie you've ever told?
Okay, so I jumped off of a roof into a pool while drunk.
Oh my God.
And I pissed myself when I hit the water.
Nice.
And so I'm standing up and I'm still pissing. This is like hours of pissing finally coming to light.
Okay.
And I'm
I guess if
standing
you're coming out of a pool, it's a little bit easier to get away with because like water's dripping off you, or you're standing in the pool. You're still in the pool.
So I'm pissing in the pool. You see like the brownish yellow coming up around me.
Oh God.
And my hands in my pants.
Are you sure you didn't shit in the pool?
Yeah, I didn't shit.
Okay.
And my hands in my pants because I'm trying to direct it away from my shorts. And my friend's dad pokes his head over and he goes, "What the fuck are you doing, son?" And because I didn't want to say, "Hey man, I'm pissing in your pool," I said, "I'm jerking off." That wasn't a better answer.
Oh man.
As I'm sure any non-drunk person would have gathered. So I told the man I was jerking off in his pool. He had me escorted off of the premises.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a fun time. And when I snuck back into the premises, I ended up sneaking into a porta potty to take a shit, and someone rolled it down a hill.
Nice.
Yeah, thankfully I managed to scramble out of it before it actually tipped. But then I rolled behind a fucking shitty porta potty, and I still ended up in some shit.
Nice.
It was not a fun night. That was like the worst of my binge drinking period.
Yeah. My first ever job had a super awkward moment with one of the boss's daughters.
Oh.
I had went to take a pee. This is on my first day.
Yeah.
I have met these people like 3 times before this, like before I started working there. I had gone to take a pee. I made the mistake of wearing jeans because I thought, dress code. I was told later that was a dumb idea because it's bad if you fall in the water and you've got athletic shorts on. It's worse if you have jeans.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so I guess I'm not wearing jeans to work. Towards the end of my shift, I found another reason why I did not want to wear jeans to work. I had unknowingly zipped up pubes into my zipper.
Oh.
And didn't know until I grabbed my belt loops while talking to a customer, and whenever I pulled on them, I felt just sheer pain, like somebody had taken a small dagger to the bladder area and just dragged down a little bit, and I was just on the verge of crying, but I'm still have a good day. And then they leave, and I immediately go to the back corner, and I'm just gotta get this shit figured out.
Yeah.
Gotta undo whatever the fuck I just did. I don't know what's happening, and as soon as I'm oh thank God, I free myself, I zip my pants back up, and I turn around, and she's standing there, and I'm like, hey. She goes, hey, and I'm that was probably not what you thought it was. And she's like, I'm not gonna ask. All right, as long as you're good, I'm good. I need you to refill the Mountain Dew, because the fountain machine was the boxes and all of it were all to my right, and I look over and I go, all right, I don't know how to do this. So then she had to stand there and show me how to do this, and I'm just oh my God.
Oh, fuck. Okay,
I don't want to get fired because the boss's daughter thinks I was down here jerking it or something.
Right, I've got 2 stories in response.
Okay.
One's really simple. My friend Aaron and I were playing a game of sack tap across 7th grade.
Nice.
It finally ended when Mr. Johnson, that was his name, he says, Duke, I need to talk to you in the hallway for a second. And I said, all right. So I stand up. Aaron hits me in the balls harder than I've ever been hit anywhere in my entire fucking life. And you hear me go, oh! And I lean over and my head hits the fucking desk, and Mr. Johnson turns around to see me and he goes, son, are you okay? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, what happened? Did Aaron hit you? And I said, no. And I'm grabbing my balls visibly. And I go, no, it just happens once a year.
What?
Yeah, I couldn't think of anything to say, but I didn't want to sell my buddy out.
Oh my god.
And then the second...
No, that's all. You immediately sell him out. You want to know why? Because in probably, I think it was either 7th or 8th grade, we were doing the same shit, and one day at recess, I had gotten hit, like, from behind real bad, and, like, just doubled over, and then, like, nobody's around. I'm like, who the fuck was it? Like, I'm doing, like, grabbing people by the shirt. Who the fuck was it? And everybody's like, it was Chandler. And I was like, that bastard. So I go over to Chandler, and I go, shit. And I go down to, like I'm tying my shoes. And when I come up, just, bop. Yeah, and he goes, like, doubles back, like he's been KO'd. Yeah. And then he's just rolling on the ground. Ah, ha, ha, oh, my God, ow. And one of the basketball coaches, Chandler plays basketball, by the way, runs over. He's like, what happened? And Chandler, like a bro, is like, I don't know. Somebody hit me in the nuts. And he looks at me, and I was like, I didn't see anything. I just walked away.
Dude, okay, so my second story. You know, I'm a rowdy 16-year-old. At the time, I had just broken up with a girlfriend. And I'm jerking it in my room. The problem, of course, I had no door.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I had to pick my battles real carefully. But my sister was away. She was on a sleepover. I didn't know anyone was in the living room. It was dark when I poked my head in. And I didn't see anyone. Well,
somebody was in there.
I've got my pants around my ankles.
Why? That's a bold move.
Yeah, the only time I've ever done that in my life.
It's a bad move. It's a real bad move, as you've learned.
Yeah.
Bad move.
And I'm jerking it to big titty Irish MILF porn.
Too specific. Yeah. You didn't have to say that.
I still remember the video. She was on a treadmill.
I don't want to hear about the video.
And
just tell the story without
pants
that.
Around the ankles. And my friend's girlfriend Mindy. It is like an art form, Matt. She pokes her head around the corner of what would be my door. And she goes, hey, Duke, I need you to help me find my iPhone. And she looks at me, and I look at her, and I've got my dick in my hands.
And you finish like a man.
I mean, I said, give me a second.
Did you ask her if she wanted to help?
I didn't have the balls for that. And she walks away.
I mean, she's already seen you jerking it. You might as well get a story.
They offered me a threesome at one point.
See, no, actually, I'm not going to say that one.
I didn't take it.
Yeah. I thought of sharing some information, and then I'm just like, I'm cool. I was like, I don't even really like those people anymore. I don't really want them starting shit with me if they hear this.
I feel you.
Because the one guy creeps on my Facebook enough to probably know that this channel exists.
Uh-huh.
And I don't, want that to be a thing.
Right. But so she walks away, and I think that's the end of it. Well, turns out she has to give me a ride to everywhere I need to go that day after.
Nice.
So I'm trapped in a car with her for about 4 hours. Just dead.
Did you talk about it?
God fucking no. Dead silence the whole ride. I didn't have a cell phone at the time, and she was driving. So it was just dead silence looking at the Ohio countryside.
That's hilarious.
It was so awkward.
I like that I've not heard this story before. That's my favorite part.
There are a lot of stories I've got where it's like, I don't tell them because I don't consider them particularly interesting or relevant to a lot.
Well, my thing is, like, I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
So to hear that you still have, like, ridiculous stories is great.
I mean,
because you're a storyteller.
Yeah, I've got a lot.
Me, I have an excuse. Yeah. I don't really talk, especially when I was living with my parents. I don't like to tell, like, outrageous things that have happened to me, because then I would get if somebody overhears me, I would get why didn't you ever tell anybody about that?
Yeah. I was still fucked up for a while when I was talking to some friends down here, and they didn't believe me at first.
What about, like, your parents being drug dealers?
Yeah, about most stuff, really.
What about your parents forcing you to be their drug mule, I guess is the best way to put it.
And then Matt confirmed these things.
Right.
Because, he had been to my home.
And I further confirmed these things.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, when you look at, this is the way it was phrased to me. When you look at the kind of person that I am and, like, the attitude that I carry with me, it just doesn't seem like I'm the same person who would have experienced that shit.
Well, I don't think that people are necessarily a product of their environment. I think they're a product of how they react to their environment.
Mm-hmm.
Certain people are broken
Mm-hmm.
by adversity, and other people are, I guess, forged by it, like strengthened.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people face adversity as a way to grow stronger.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to say. But, I mean, most people are just broken by it.
Yeah.
Most people are shitty.
Speaking of shitty, broken people, all the U.S. presidents get into a fist fight.
There's going to definitely be some broken people.
Yeah, this is a bar fight.
Are we talking like they're all...
They're all in a bar.
No, like they're all the age they were when they were elected?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this isn't like we just have the living presidents. That'd be a cop-out.
No.
Barack Obama would fucking clean sweep.
Well, I mean, you could assume it's like all the presidents at their peak, all the... That's good, by the way. I just caught what you were saying. Or all the presidents at the age they died at.
No, it's the election.
Right. So at the age they were when they were inaugurated.
When they were first elected, too, in the case of, I think it was Grover Cleveland or Benjamin Harrison. Because they served non-consecutive.
Yeah, I thought Garfield was
that might have been it.
Non-consecutive.
They're all in the same period.
Or it might be Grover, because I was thinking a G name.
Yeah, it's in like the pre-Gilded Age period. It's that block of presidents. One of them.
Well, I think that my top three for who would win the fight would probably be Abe Lincoln,
Right.
John F. Kennedy, because he's a Kennedy.
Yeah.
The Kennedys just win things.
Fair. Mafia would enter and kill everyone else.
Not exactly what I was
memeing.
going for.
All right, third.
Teddy Roosevelt.
See, Teddy is my number one. I got Teddy, Abe, and Barack Obama.
That's
Fourth,
fair.
George W. Bush.
Obese was a young black stallion when he was. I'd say he's probably my number 4 too. Well,
Yeah.
I mean they're not in any particular order. Those are just my top 4 picks.
I think the problem with Kennedy is that he was actually in a back brace for 90% of his presidency, and he was crippled most of the time. He had like an FDR thing going on.
Really?
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't know this.
The magic
Most of
bullet-
my Kennedy information is conspiracy theories.
Fair. Yeah, fair.
And the address he made where he stated that he wanted to tell the American people what's really going on at Area 51. The reason that the FBI had him killed in the first place.
Yeah. My favorite Kennedy speech is "I am a jelly donut." He went to Berlin, and the demonym for a person from Berlin, if you're German, is Berliner. But you have to say it in a certain way. So a Berliner is also a jelly donut. So he shows up and he says, "Ich bin ein Berliner." I am a jelly donut. Because he mispronounced Berliner.
Nice.
Yeah. And that's my favorite Kennedy speech. But what happened was he would have... Many people argue that he would have survived the shot that killed him if his body would have been able to recoil. But because he was in a back brace, his whole body stiffened up. And so the bullet,
Poor Jonathan Frederator Kennedy.
Yeah, poor Jonathan Fitzgerald Frederator Francine Kennedy.
I was going with the joke of not saying his real middle name.
Yeah, I kind of caught that too late.
Yeah, I could tell because you immediately said yours in a way that was correcting of mine.
Yeah.
And then you, as soon as you said it, you doubled back to the Frederator.
Yeah, I caught it way too late. But, yeah.
Okay, so all the presidents in a fist fight.
Yeah.
That's one thing. All the states go to war.
Ooh, that's
Who
totally
wins that?
different thing.
For me, I think personally, Hawaii wins. they're islands. They
Yeah.
are islands, dude.
See, I think it's Alaska.
That's fair too. It's super cold up there.
Yeah, because
It's
Hawaii
difficult
ain't
to
gonna fuck with
transverse, but I mean, I think Alaska and Hawaii are probably the last two, and they're probably just like a mutual understanding. Like, we're back to being our own nations now.
them.
Says the Alaskan, and
Oahu. says the-
or Da, because I guess Russians too.
Yeah, you can see
and then-
Russia from your house.
And then the Hawaiians would say aloha, and ohana means family. Family means no one's left behind.
Family means we don't fucking kill each other. I think that a good debate, though, is like, you've got like the northern states and the southern states, and like, it's one thing to be like, ha ha, Civil War II, ha. But I'm talking about like a fucking apocalypse now style war.
Yeah, see, my thing is, I'm pretty sure that.
Like, no
I don't know.
armies war.
I haven't seen Apocalypse Now.
Like,
Wait.
just
yeah, I
people.
have. That's the Vietnam War.
Is it?
Yeah, Apocalypse
Yeah, I guess
Now
that
is about,
works out.
is about Vietnam.
Yeah, so I'm talking about like a fucking no military war. It's all crazy guerrilla
So
shit.
it's just like anarchy.
Yeah, it's like an anarchy war between
It's like,
all 50
what would
states.
happen if all 50 states were isolated, from the rest of the world, and all of a sudden the government dissolved? A new hit reality TV show,
This summer.
Purge USA.
I would have watched a Netflix series about the Purge. I didn't like the movie.
I think that the concept was good. The execution was very, very poor.
What to you? I wanted to ask this too, but I wasn't sure if it didn't. What to you makes a good movie? What is your hallmark?
It's a lot of stuff. I mean, there are a lot of bad movies that I like.
True.
There are a lot of, especially like horror movies. There are a lot of really, really bad horror movies that I like just because they were an enjoyable experience. Like The Conjuring, I called every time that clock tolled. I called 90% of the jump scares. I still enjoyed the movie. It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's fun picking apart because have you seen the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, spoiler alert for any listener who hasn't seen The Conjuring 1. The dog dies at the very start of the movie. You see one shot of the dog's grave, and then in every shot where you should see the dog's grave, it's not there. Mm-hmm. I was like, I get why these ghosts are like harassing these people. Like, hey, we found your fucking dog. Get out of here. Go on, get it.
Get out.
This ain't a pet cemetery. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Burying it under our tree. That's so rude of you.
Have you seen The Winchester House? Or The Haunting at Winchester House?
Maybe.
Here's the plot of the movie. I'm unabashedly spoiling this. If you're a fan of that fucking movie, please go eat a huge bag
Here's
of dicks.
my thing. I would probably watch that movie and like it, but continue.
Yeah, the problem with the movie is at the start of the movie, the family is driving to the Winchester house, and they narrowly avoid a car crash, and they're like, "Wow, it was close." And so they go to the house. Pretty cool. They find out the house is haunted, so they call an exorcist. The exorcist comes, and before he can figure out the problem,
Is he played by Flava Flav?
no, it is a black guy though, but he's like the stereotypical black priest.
Okay.
And before he can diagnose the problem, he dies.
Nice.
So you want to know what the problem was?
What's that?
In the last 2 minutes of the movie, you find out the family died in the car crash and were the ghosts the entire fucking time. And the reason the priest died was because one of the ghosts had touched him earlier in the movie, and it set him into cardiac arrest.
An excellent film.
They were the ghosts
me it
the
won an
whole
Emmy.
time. No, I fucking hope not. That movie, it was like an hour and 45 minutes long. I watched it with my sister. I fucking wanted to die at the end. I wanted to
That
fucking
sounds
kill
like
myself.
if somebody had given like a bunch of 7th graders a bad synopsis of The Sixth Sense, the movie that they would have made.
Yeah.
The people are dead all along.
You know, one time in 5th grade, I wrote a Charlie Bone fan fiction where this character named Tor, who is based off of Thor, had a really bad day. And when he woke up, it was all a dream. And I think that was better artistically than the Winchester house.
Just, I think you might be a little biased there.
It was 400 words.
Oh man.
It was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Would write again.
I love stuff like that though. Like I want to see. I'm excited for the future, if only to see what bad horror movies come, because the days of computer generated imaging being hard to come by is not really a thing anymore. Literally anybody can do it. You can spend $5 on Fiverr and somebody will make you computer generated images. They'll do the special effects for your movie for like real cheap. They're not gonna be good, but I mean anybody can do them.
Yeah.
And I think as technology gets greater and greater, that'll become easier and easier. And I mean, you're threatening that cat with that spray bottle.
No, I was thinking about it, but I was like, no.
He's just playing. I mean, he's not being too
I
noisy.
was like, that was an acceptable play. He's playing with some okay shit right now.
But if I would like to see 100 years from now, what like a bad horror movie from 100 years from now.
Yeah.
Just to see what it's like.
Do you think it would have to be bad, like narratively?
No. See, a bad horror movie isn't necessarily a bad narrative film. It's just like Insidious. Insidious was a decent narrative. Absolute horrible horror.
Was that the Jew movie or the lawnmower kid head movie? No, okay, let me clarify. You have a horrified look on your face. I mean, the whole plot was like it was either a Nazi ghost or a Jewish ghost, and they wanted to kill whichever one it wasn't.
Okay, so Insidious is about this family, and they move into this house. Their son gets taken to a ghost realm.
Yeah.
It's Loud Noises, the movie.
Yeah, is that...
It's like there's just like part of the house is just like a portal to the ghost realm at certain times.
Yeah, with the TV too?
No, that's Poltergeist.
Oh, yeah, sorry, go on.
But, the only thing I really remember is like a clock at the end of the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of my family members had a clock at the end of their hallway, and I was like, that's just a normal thing, I guess. I never had that. So I was like, who puts a clock at the end of the hallway? Who's going to go out in the hall? I wonder what time it is. But I was just like, that's just placed there, Chekhov's gun. I'm putting it there to use it later. And then it's just like, I saw that be an actual thing. I'm like, oh, I guess Insidious wasn't that unbelievable of a movie. But anyway, so it's just jump scares the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
And do you think 100 years from now that'll be gone?
What?
Like jump scares?
I don't think jump scares will be gone. I think that they'll be probably retro.
Right.
Like they'll be so out of style that they're in style.
Like you'll...
But I would just like to see what bad horror movie cliches are and which ones are still being used.
Mm-hmm. I think something that fucks me up is thinking about like 100 years from now how different shit would be. Like you know Futurama, right? Like the cryogenically freezing shit. I would love to cryogenically freeze myself for 100 years and just see what's changed. Yeah. First thing I do, see if Google exists. Second thing I do, Google big anime titties. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to Google big anime titties.
If you could Google one thing, not like now, without leaving the future, you have one Google search that will see 100 years into the future. What do you search?
Oh, shit. Okay. First thing I'm searching is my own name.
No, you have one search. And you're using it for your name.
Yeah.
Okay. You're a Dumbo. What you do is you type in World Series and Super Bowl results last 100 years. And then you become a millionaire. And you just don't be a dick like Biff.
Yeah, fucking Biff Tannen. That goddamn almanac.
Fucking butthead.
First he wants to fuck Marty's mom. Oh wait,
he wants Marty. To rape.
He does want to rape Marty's mom.
Yeah, because she does not want him in the slightest.
Yeah, what the fuck was all that? If you ever looked back at like 80s, 90s movies and thought about how rapey they were?
I mean, society as a whole, like in the 50s, was pretty rapey. So I think the 80s were sort of portraying the 50s well.
Well, think about Revenge of the Nerds. Right?
Is that the one where they make a girl? Is that no? That's Weird Science.
Never
mind.
Science. And then like Animal House or whatever.
I haven't seen Animal House.
They trick this girl into fucking a dude. It's just rape.
Right.
They rape a girl. That's the big prank of the movie.
I feel like I saw Porky's and thought it was Animal House for a long time.
To be honest with you, they're pretty similar.
Are they?
In
I
terms
didn't like
of like
Porky's.
same.
It's a weird fucking movie.
I've seen it one time.
I did too.
I did not ever want to watch it
I saw it
again.
on cable. I was like, how's this on? Exactly what I asked. I was like, how the fuck is this like acceptable?
I never got shit like that. To be fair though, I watched American Pie on cable.
That's fair too.
Yeah, Bandcamp especially, where the dude fucks the tuba or the trumpet or whatever.
Well, I mean, the first movie, the guy fucks a cherry pie.
Have you seen the first American Pie? Because I only saw it recently.
I want to say it was the first one.
That movie's not bad. It's not great.
I feel like I'm mixing them together in my head because I know the one, the kid like puts a porno DVD in the living room.
Yeah.
His parents are going on vacation, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna sit here and be naked and jerk it in the comfort of my own home." And he leaves the blinds open. Amateur mistake.
Rookie mistake.
Then his parents come home like way early.
Yeah, because they had forgotten something.
Yeah.
And they catch him jerking it.
Yeah. They catch him just
And like his grandma dies in it.
just bopping his baloney.
Yeah. I think that getting caught jerking it is the worst fate.
No. I think there's much worse fates.
Like what?
Like losing the ability to eat macaroni and cheese forever.
See, that one.
Because I know Kraft isn't like the best macaroni.
Yeah.
But I love me some Velveeta.
No. Okay. Is it macaroni and cheese, or just mac? Like, could I hypothetically eat a spoonful of mac and then eat a spoonful of cheese and like tornado it in my mouth? Get a macnado?
I don't know what you're asking me.
Okay, so I got a bowl of mac,
Right.
just the noodles on my left, and on my right I've got just a bowl of cheese, like sweet melty cheese.
But Duke, all I'm saying is that the worst fate would be not being able to eat macaroni and cheese.
Well, I'm just saying, like, in that fate, right? Like say I'm just forbidden from doing it.
Macaroni and cheese.
So it's like a combo.
Yeah.
So I couldn't, unrelated, semi-related. You know what I want to do one day? I want to make the nacho cheesy chips. You know, where you just melt chips and cheese together. And then I want to crumble them up and put it in mac and stir it and then eat that.
The nacho cheesy chip, that wasn't a thing until like my friend just came to my house one night and he's like, "Do you guys have the stuff to make that?" I'm like, "What?" It is just like he just described the most white trash process.
Yeah, to be fair. Yeah.
And I'm just like, why?
They just put you sprinkle cheese all over.
Yeah, I know
the
how to
chips.
make it, Duke. I've had it since.
I was informing our audience.
We made it that night, and it was one of the worst things.
I loved it.
It's like just microwaving cheese most of the time. You've got to catch it at the right moment, because if you microwave it for just a fraction of a second too long, it becomes like a hardened substance.
Now, you know what I think is the most white trash thing?
What's that?
Lardo used to put a piece of, like, American Singles, Kraft's American Singles, on top of a piece of bread, and then put it in the stove for like 30 minutes. And then pull it out and eat it.
That's some white trash shit.
That is some next level white trash shit.
Okay,
so you say that's the worst fate,
yeah,
right?
So here's my proposal.
Yeah.
How much money for you to never eat macaroni and cheese again? Forever. Never, ever, ever again.
We're talking about like realistically or hyperbolically?
Realistically.
10 grand. I'd kill a man for less.
really?
The Kill a Man thing or 10 grand?
Both? Well, the Kill a Man thing, and then you do it for less than 10 grand.
I'd Kill a Man for about $1,000.
And then 10 grand, really? That'd be all it would take for you to give up macaroni and cheese forever?
I mean, yeah, because I could come up with suitable alternatives. You know? 'Cause I like, wait, does that count like Hamburger Helper? Do I lose Hamburger Helper in this trade as well? Because that ups my price significantly. That goes up to like a couple mil.
Okay.
'Cause I love me
I mean,
some
just like
Hamburger
classic
Helper.
mac and cheese. Like, you can't eat Velveeta. Like anything that's like macaroni dinner. Anything that
Shit.
on the box is going to say macaroni dinner. Like, I don't think that Hamburger Helper says that.
Cheeseburger Mac, though.
Cheeseburger Mac does. Yeah. Couldn't eat cheeseburger Mac.
And that's my favorite. Well, that's like one of my favorite dishes. Not my favorite food, but my favorite dish. Fuck.
What's your favorite food?
Rice.
Rice, right. Yeah, duh.
Yeah.
Super weird guy.
It's really good. It's really filling.
Personally, I think pizza's mine.
It's fair. Very fair.
Because there's just so many different ways
Variation.
of, make pizza. So many different kinds of pizza. So many different pizza toppings. That's why my favorite vegetable is potato. You can do so much shit with potatoes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
What's your favorite pizza?
Favorite that I've had would probably have to be just like I used to do the pizza build on Papa John's website. Shout out to Papa John's for keeping me fat. But I would do like chicken, like the chicken fajita shit, whatever they do.
Yeah.
Chicken, the deli pepperoni, or the sandwich pepperoni, whatever, the big ones, not small pepperonis, big pepperonis, bacon, and I want to say beef with barbecue sauce instead of regular marinara sauce. That's been my favorite. But anything with stuffed crust automatically is just like
Top tier.
yeah, it's like transcends reality in a way.
For
But
me,
I have gotten. Let me pull up the picture for you. But you can go ahead and say what you're saying. But I'm going to show you the last time that I ordered stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut.
for me, my favorite pizza has to be white sauce pan pizza with buffalo chicken and double cheese. So you got, it's very simple but very good.
Oh, I missed a step. Provolone cheese on that.
Yeah.
This provolone is by far my favorite cheese.
Really?
Yeah, by far and away.
Yeah.
Anytime I go to Subway, I'm getting that on my sandwich.
By the way, speaking of Subway, I want to tell this story on the channel because I haven't gotten the chance yet. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What?
I waited 55 minutes and this showed up. I'm going to tweet this picture out for everybody to see it. I think I already did it at one point.
Probably.
I might have redid it recently. But if you check at 12:14-ish, or that's Central Time.
Yeah, CST.
12:14-ish
Central Time.
Central Time. On my Twitter, you'll see waited 55 minutes and this is what came. And that's the picture of the worst pizza I've ever received. And it's part of the reason why I wish that I checked pizza orders before I was like,
Took it.
Yeah, but I had all the time gotten orders and it's like I had like soda I ordered with it. Like the guy forgot the soda. I'm like, hey, there's supposed to be drinks with that. They're on the receipt. He's like, oh shit, man, I'll be right back. But if I could be like, hey, this wasn't supposed to be fucked up when it got here.
This wasn't supposed to be a fucking abortion.
And I wish I could be I could be a shithead.
Yeah.
And I could call them and be like, I'm not paying for that. I want my money back. But I was just like, it's stuffed crust pizza. It's like the crust is still stuffed. I'm gonna eat this.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, last time I went to Subway in Ohio, I ordered the same thing I always order, which is a flatbread, chicken, pepperoni, and American cheese sandwich, toasted.
Which I don't get that.
It's
You
something
have all
about
the cheese choices, and you want American.
there's something about the very plain texture of it that mixes well with the sharpness of the pepperoni and the kind of beefiness of the chicken. Beefiness not, meant toward beef, but just, thickness and the specific texture of it. It works well. 'Cause I eat food primarily for texture.
That's weird.
Yeah, but so I order that sandwich. Toasted chicken, pepperoni, and cheese sandwich. What happens is the woman at the counter takes the meat out of my sandwich.
She's obviously super new.
Yeah, clearly super new. Takes the meat out of my sandwich, toasts it for a minute, puts it back in the sandwich, and then hands me the cold cheese and bread with steaming meats.
It was hilarious because Duke was at the front of the line.
Yeah.
We were with a friend of ours, Brett.
Yeah.
And was this after we watched
Yeah, it was
Moana?
after the movies.
Okay, so we went watched Moana
And
and Fantastic Beasts. We caught a double feature. It wasn't really a double feature. We just kind of saw two movies.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we bought a ticket to see both movies played one after another. We got a ticket. We went into one theater, watched Moana, then we walked across the plex to the other theater, watched Fantastic Beasts. And afterwards, we went back. There was a Subway like right by your house.
Yeah.
And, like, hey, let's get, just eat Subway. Starving. We're going to hang out at your house for a little bit.
Yeah.
So we might as well. So we go into the Subway. Duke's at the front of the line. He orders first. He gets his sandwich first. Oh, Matt's okay.
Yeah.
Brett orders. I was like, I'll pay for everybody since it's just easier to do that. And then I got mine last. And I go over and sit down, and Brett's already laughing when I sit down.
He's chuckling.
Duke's just got the deepest frown on his face. And Brett goes, well, are you going to tell him? And Duke had a look on his face that said, I don't really want to, but here's what happened. And he's like, just look. And he just opens his sandwich, and I see the hot meats,
The steaming meats.
unmelted cheese on cold bread. And I'm just like, did you really order that? And he's like, it was supposed to be toasted. And we were telling him to go, not be a cuck and tell him to toast the whole fucking sandwich, not just the meats inside, but he refused. He sat there and ate it.
It was one of those things where I was so fucked up mentally and emotionally by that I couldn't do it. I couldn't go back. What if she fucked it up again?
It's a risk you take.
I couldn't do it.
It's a risk you run. Well, how do you fuck it up again?
See, that's my
the fact
question.
that you have to specifically tell her, no, bitch, I want the whole sandwich toasted.
Yeah. Why? That was my question.
Maybe
Why?
it was. Did you say toasted chicken, pepperoni, cheese?
No,
flatbread?
She had already made the sandwich. And she's like, do you want this toasted? And I said, yeah.
She just puts the meat in there.
She took the meat out of the sandwich.
That's
and
crazy
toasted
to
it.
me. It was obviously new because, as she was taking Brett's order, her coworker was like, just get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Just, go.
I was just so
At which point I would have
perplexed.
definitely been like, hey, that bitch didn't toast my sandwich. I asked for it toasted. She only toasted the meats in it. Could you please rectify this situation?
I was just so fucked up by it. You know, when you see something that defies all expectation and you really just, how you should proceed, but you can't really put yourself into motion?
No, never have that problem.
It's like being paralyzed with fear, but instead it's more like being dumbstruck with stupidity.
My thing is and especially if it's something that I'm paying for. I guess in your situation, I was paying for it, so it didn't matter as much to you. But that's why I was very adamant that you needed to go get your sandwich fully toasted.
Yeah.
Because
you were paying for my enjoyment.
Here's the thing: any place that takes your money, there's a reasonable expectation. I had a little bit of a L there that didn't really belong.
Yeah.
You have a reasonable expectation for them to fulfill your want, your need at the moment, and your want was to have your sandwich toasted, to which they have fulfilled by toasting the meats that go in the sandwich.
Is that even really half?
You have 3 or 4 components to the sandwich.
Yeah.
The flatbread, the cheese, the 2 meats. They toasted the 2 meats. They
Yeah.
toasted 2 of the 4 items.
But to be fair,
Meats.
3/4 of the sandwich is the bread.
I guess.
I mean, I guess in flatbread it is arguably a bit different.
Yeah, I guess flatbread is probably closer to 1/4
Yeah.
because it's not as puffy. But I mean, like, the sandwich is like you get the cheesy Italian bread. That's definitely
bread.
like it's like 3/4.
I used to get that all the time. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's my go-to one.
Yeah. I used to get the same sandwich I get now, but on cheesy Italian.
Yeah. Those are just like no matter what, cheesy Italian, please. Actually, what the hell kind was it? We went to a Subway, not like locally. We were somewhere, and we went to another one.
Oh, in Tennessee. We had just gotten into Tennessee.
I wanted to say that.
Actually, no, it was on the Kentucky side because we were trying to get to Tennessee.
No, it wasn't on the way down here. I did get one there, but that's not that's another situation. I got a Reuben. Should have known better than to get a Reuben. You know, a sandwich with sauerkraut in it from a gas station Subway.
Yeah.
But it must have been like either the Walmart, the local Walmart, or a town over the Walmart where we went with Matt, and I got the same sandwich, and they had some different bread that I was just like, I think it was they had a like a Jewish rye or something.
Yeah, they had.
And I was like, you've got to have a Reuben on a Jewish rye, so I got that.
How was that?
It was good. It was much better than the Kentucky one, but again, it wasn't out of a gas station. It was a Walmart.
To be fair, that entire exit in Kentucky was a fucking hellhole.
I don't think we were in Kentucky yet. I think we were still in Ohio.
No, because that was one where we missed the exit like 16 fucking times.
No, because it was like our first stop.
Yeah.
It was like our first stop for gas.
We didn't have to stop for gas, so we got into Kentucky.
Really? For some reason, I'm saying we were like still on this side, but I don't know. I guess I'll take your word for it.
We have.
I just don't think I would have made that if I had known I was in Kentucky. I don't think I would have done that. Because part of me feels like we drove right through Kentucky. Like I feel like I told you to stop before Kentucky. That way we don't have to stop in Kentucky.
Yeah, I know that.
I've had bad experiences in Kentucky.
Your experiences with Kentucky are like my experiences with Tennessee.
You frequently choose to go to Tennessee for fighting tournaments, huh?
Yeah, that's because there's a really good city in Tennessee. There's one heaven in Tennessee, and it's in Smyrna.
I was gonna say, is there an actual city called Heaven in Tennessee?
No, but this guy's road. I feel no shame in saying this. It's not in the city of Smyrna, so I'm gonna say it. It's called The Way's End. That's the name of the road. It's not like the Way's End Road. It's just the Way's End. Or some shit like that. It's fucking sick as hell. Are you looking up Smyrna, Tennessee?
No, I was looking up to see if there's a Heaven, Tennessee.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. But it's some shit like that.
It's almost Heaven Resort and Weddings.
But
I think it's just a wedding location.
It's like it's in a subborough of Murfreesboro.
It's a borough.
Like not like a town. You know, like how you have neighborhoods, blocks, and etc.
Yeah.
It's like a collection of blocks.
Okay.
Like
I guess that makes sense.
What do you call the all the houses grouped together?
A cul-de-sac.
No, it's like a big neighborhood of houses made by one company. Brett lived in one. Do you remember Brett's neighborhood?
Oh, a gated community?
Kind of. It's like that, but not gated.
Not gated. I mean, Brett's wasn't really gated either.
His had a gate, though. It could close.
Okay.
It
It just looked like there was like 3 towers.
Yeah.
Like, and 2 of them had walls, and then there was just one in the center.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it makes sense that maybe something could come across there, but I didn't notice it if it was there.
We also passed through at night, I believe. One of the
Well, we
times
came in like early evening.
Yeah.
It was still light out.
Yeah, because I remember.
We did that on Christmas. Part of me feels like we did that on Christmas.
I think it was the day before. Because I got you on what, the 21st?
Yeah.
And then
my last day of work was the 20th.
Yeah.
You picked me up like the next day.
And then we hung out for a couple days, kind of chilled.
No, my last day was the 18th.
Did I pick you up on the 19th?
I think you got me on the 20th.
Okay, that
I
makes
think
sense.
my last day of work was the 18th. I had 19th, 20th, you got me on the 20th.
Yeah, because you were getting ready and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go to Brett's house. Nice place, nice community. But
Nice dude.
Yeah, great dude. Fucking shout out to Brett. Love you, man. Easily one of the coolest fucking guys I know.
You take his pee-pee out of your mouth now.
Nah, man, I'm sucking it. Suckle. But
Sorry, Brett.
Yeah, you know, I don't think I'd give up macaroni forever. because of the cheeseburger, man. For those of you who don't know, this is something I do fucking frequently.
Oh my God, too often. Like we in Kentucky, all right. Yeah. He brings up how he wants to get. You wanted to get through Nashville.
Yeah, in Tennessee.
He wanted to get through Nashville, Tennessee before dark because he hates Nashville
a lot.
And also, he doesn't have the best eyes, so seeing at night not a strong suit.
Very difficult.
So, we're talking about Tennessee, and I asked the question, "What do you even call people from Tennessee?" He's like, "I don't know." That was the end of that conversation. Yeah. We are 15 minutes outside of Nashville. Yeah. I am asleep on the window.
This is on the other side of Nashville, by the way.
And this is Duke yelling, "Tenetians!"
I said Tennesseers.
Tennesseers, that's it. And then I go, and me, just like half awake, go, "Huh?" And you go, "Tennesseers. People from Tennessee are called Tennesseers." I was like, "Nah, dude, it's Tenetians." And then I go back to sleep. Or no, because I couldn't get back to sleep. I was up at that point.
Fucking startled you.
I was like, I guess I'm awake for the rest of this ride.
Oh, man.
And that was whenever I saw that there was some cadence to Matt's claims that you were retarded.
So I gotta ask you, at any point when we were making the drive down here, did you, like, when we turned onto, like, the road that turns onto our road, where we see Bear Dog and Racing Doggo,
right?
At any point, were you, like, expecting something different than, like, our home? I feel you.
I mean, I knew y'all lived in a trailer, so, I mean, I didn't expect to be in a fruitful community.
True.
But, I mean, we got Bear Doggo and we got Racing Doggo, so, I mean, that's more than I expected. And the one neighbor has ponies. We don't know where the ponies are. The ponies are missing.
The ponies are missing. If you find the ponies...
I hope that someday soon we'll see the ponies again, because we haven't seen them since those real bad storms the one night. Yeah. I hope they didn't get blown away.
Yeah, I hope they didn't get blown away in the storm. That'd be tragic.
Yeah.
What if they ended up like a town over?
There's somebody else's ponies now.
That's true. They had to have been someone else's ponies to begin with. That dude didn't just fucking buy ponies for his fucking 2-foot backyard ass.
That's fair, I guess. He's got a small yard to be getting ponies.
2 ponies.
2 ponies.
Yeah, don't even sugarcoat it. He has 2 ponies.
All right, so we have one more topic for discussion on the docket for this podcast. Army men. How do you feel about them? The green toy ones, obviously, not like the army.
My sister used to melt them whenever I got them.
Okay, that's rude.
Yeah,
super rude. I don't remember actually having a lot of army men. I do remember playing the PlayStation 1 game with the army men, and then I recently got. I'm pretty sure this is called Army Men Plastic Warfare on Steam. It's like a third-person shooter. It's fucking ridiculous. I wish it ran better, so I could, because I would say we should play it on the channel, but it runs kind of like shit, like when I'm not recording.
My brother once melted all my army men into an ashtray.
Nice. What a cool dude.
Yeah, he left like 3 of them. You could still make out like the upper halves of their body. So it was like a melting nightmare that looked kind of like army men stuck to a bowl.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, my brother...
Who does shit like that?
My brother wasn't fond of me.
Like, I destroyed my own toys, but if, like, somebody else destroyed my toys, I would be so pissed.
At one point, my sister threw some of my toys into the canal.
Nice.
Yeah, fun time.
What a cool chick.
Dude, this is the same girl that once cut my finger off.
And the same girl who ran away with the dude that beat the shit out of her.
Yep. And then I said, it's me.
After she beat, he beat the shit out of her. By the way, like
Yeah.
it wasn't like they ran away together. Then he beat the shit out of her.
It
It
was-
was he beat the shit out of her a couple of times.
They ran away.
They ran away together,
And
probably because Duke's family was going to kill the guy.
Yeah, and then they, he beat the shit out
He
of her.
beat the shit
again.
out of her again, and then she was like, "Maybe I should leave."
Yeah, and she calls me on the phone.
I see something in him.
Yeah, and she's like,
A rematch.
she's like, dude, guys got hit, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Deanna, tell me where you are. I'll come get you right now, and I'm going to fucking kill him.
She probably could have left out the fucking kill him part.
Yeah, and she's taunting me for him. She's like, no, and she keeps crying. And I'm like, Deanna, I'm either going to solve this or nothing. That's it. It's
But
either,
Duke, I love him.
yeah, and I was like, it's either you leave him because he has beaten you, or you stop talking to me because I'm not going to deal with this. Simply put, I'm not putting myself in a position where I'm going to have my fucking crying sister call me on the phone because she just got beat and I can't do anything about it. That's not in me. That's not me as a person. And I said, you make a decision. You either leave him or you pretend I don't exist. She hung up the phone.
Bitch move.
Yeah, and then she called me like 3 years later. It wasn't actually 3 years, it was like 2. But it was 2 years later. I'm in the middle of a job interview. Yeah, it's for the job I have now. In the middle of an interview.
Nice.
I'm at the college, and I get a phone call from my sister, who I haven't talked to in years.
Do you ignore it?
I did. I ignored it until the interview was over, and then I called it back. She just wanted to tell me about her time in New York, how she watched a baby die, or something like that. She told me a lot of stuff about her time on Jamaica Ave.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a weird story, weird time.
Well, I used to play the shit out of the Army Men.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I guess yeah. You were talking about your sister used to melt your Army Men.
Yeah.
But I don't. You just go off on these weird fucking tangents where I'm just like, how did we get here? I was like, I had what I thought was a pretty normal talking point.
Pretty hard to
I was
derail.
just gonna talk about the times the fun times I had
Yeah.
playing the Army Men game on PlayStation 1. Shooting my brothers as Army Men, stuff like that. And I thought that was the coolest shit back in the day.
Yeah.
And then Call of Duty comes out, and I'm like, shit, this ain't got nothing on the Army Men game.
You ever think about games you used to play when you were younger, and then remember how fucking great they looked, but then you go back and you play them now, and they look like fucking hot
Tony
garbage.
Hawk's Pro Skater 2.5 is my point where I was like, okay, so maybe I just thought games looked good before, and they don't really look good.
Yeah.
Because I played that game on Xbox, and then we got the Xbox 360. We played American Wasteland, and then we tried to go back to Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.5. And it's like, this game is shit. Looks like ass. But then at the same time, it's like, on PlayStation 2, Rygar looks really good. And then even today, it still looks pretty good. Ain't awful. Weird game, but it ain't bad.
I've never played it.
It's you have a disc armor. It's a shield that's on like a chain. It's pretty interesting. I always thought it was a weird concept when I was a kid, but I liked it. It was fun. And then whenever I saw my dad got God of War, I was like, that looks like it plays like Rygar. My dad's like, yeah, you can't play this stuff. Too graphic. I was like, come on, Dad, don't be like that.
One thing that I loved is the rise of retro-looking games again. Like, Rogue Legacy, Enter the Gungeon, Shovel Knight.
Well, Rogue Legacy doesn't really look that retro.
Well,
I guess the enemies, some of them do.
It's like a
that.
sprited game, though, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, Rogue Legacy, your main character isn't very sprited. The eyeballs are pretty realistic. The skeletons are retro-y. They're like sprites. The ghosts, I think, are also sprited.
I want to say that whole game is sprited.
I mean, I know for a fact that it's not. I've played too much of that game.
Rogue Legacy?
Yeah, I've played a fair bit of it
Check it
before
out.
I bought it. Again, I am a
You can just search it.
yeah, but I'm a hero already.
Admittedly, yeah.
Rogue Legacy.
Not rolled.
Rogue Legacy.
Yeah.
Like the guy is pretty high quality, but some of the enemies I agree do have, like this is like that attack is like high HD, but like the background is blurry but pixelated, or it's like pixel art. Like this is
Pull it up.
this is pretty HD. I mean I can't full screen. Oh, I guess I can. Like see he's pretty like a high def sprite. Chest is like high def sprites.
Yeah, but
But the background is like hyper, like very much HD. I'm trying to get like a good picture of like enemies like that. The eye looks pretty realistic, but the blood is like super pixelated.
Oh, that's totally a 16-bit sprite or 32, but
The ghost guys, I guess they're pretty HD too. But
It's-
but it seems that the projectiles tend to be a lot more jagged looking.
that's a very common trait in games.
Yeah, like
But-
these guys, they all look like high def.
Yeah, they're all 32-bit.
High def as fuck.
You've got three main types of spriting: you got 32, 16, and 8.
There's 30 or 64. It multiplies, like it can get higher. It's all about the resolution,
I'm talking about like generational games.
right?
Cause like I did spriting for a long fucking time. And you know that's 32-bit spriting with obviously HD effects, but yeah,
Okay.
I'm just saying. Like Mega Man. Like
So what is Castlevania Symphony of the Night? What is that?
pull it up. I want to say 32. Just off of instinct from like when it was released.
I think it was released in like 2002.
Yeah, that sounds like
97
32.
actually. Wow, that's fuck. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. It looks a lot worse than I remember it looking.
Yeah, it's probably 32.
It's PlayStation 1.
It's more than 16-bit, obviously.
What's PlayStation?
Look up Mega Man X6.
Mega Man X6.
Like, look for like an in-game screenshot, as it were.
That looks like butts.
Yeah, that's like very unrefined 32-bit.
Okay.
Like, see that there? Like, imagine if you made that HD, right? Like the tile effects and shit. Like, that would look a lot like Rogue Legacy if you HDified it.
HDified.
Like, if you made the actual terrain, like images.
Let's say that cover looks pretty silly.
Yeah.
When did Mega Man start using a lightsaber?
It's actually Zero's from the end of X5 when Zero sacrifices himself.
Oh, and then I click on a screenshot of him using a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Does he just like start using a sword in the later games or what?
No, what happened was Zero killed himself to stop a meteor from crashing into the Earth.
Whoa.
And then-
Spoilers.
Yeah, and so X
Come on!
took his saber
What's wrong with you?
to kind of carry on his legacy, but it turns out Zero isn't really dead. He's just possessed by the Sigma virus, which is turning him back into a Maverick, which is a bad Reploid. You know, bad Robo.
Yes, you're not really speaking English to me right now.
So basically, you know, the bad guy turns him evil for a while, but you can unlock him and go through the game as Zero if you wanted. It's harder. It's a lot harder as Zero because he only has one long range attack, but that's it.
I wanted the cough to cut you off.
Yeah. But yeah.
Why?
I want to play those games on the channel, by the way. So.
What, Mega Man?
The X games specifically.
Oh my goodness. I don't see a way to what console are those even on?
PSX.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean PlayStation 1?
And PSX, yeah.
What's PSX?
It was like an interquel between PS1 and 2.
Really?
That's what Matt told me.
Okay.
I know I had a PSX after he described it to me. It was either the one that came first or the one that came after.
I don't know. Let's
Yeah, let's end
let's continue our googling of things.
Yeah.
Is this the PSX? It says PSX on it.
Yeah.
I had this one.
Same. I had that one, and
Apparently
I had the
there's a
bigger one.
version of the PlayStation 1 that can be rewired into a bomb.
Yeah, I think I heard about that, but I
They're
thought it was
super-
something else.
They're super rare,
Yeah,
allegedly.
I've never had one of those. Like a bomb.
This just looks like a beefy. It's like a beefy PlayStation.
Yeah,
Like, I guess Sony makes VCRs and shit, so it's not like if Sony made a VCR. Like if they made a VCR/PlayStation.
yeah.
So it looks like a fucking VCR.
Looks like a goddamn monster.
Holy shit! It's got a USB port on it.
Yeah.
Shit, that's USB 1.0.
It was made to be like a console. Like the first console, like actual powerful console.
Right, I feel you. Well, PlayStation's pretty powerful. So is the Nintendo 64 though. There's some good looking ass Nintendo 64 games.
Yeah, like fuck what? Wind Waker?
That was on PS or Nintendo 64.
That was GameCube, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure it was just on GameCube and technically the Wii U because of the HD re-release.
Which looked fucking beautiful.
Yeah, I still need to finish that game. I never played it whenever it first came out because I didn't, that's at a point in time where I just wasn't getting as many games as I normally would because we were playing World of Warcraft and that was pretty much our gaming budget.
Yeah, I feel you there.
But I mean, that's all we really got for today. This podcast has gone a little bit longer than we expected it to.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see you guys next time on Smashbox.
Adios.